Hey guys, I apologize for not making a video in God knows how long. We're approaching almost a month here. But here I want to discuss something interesting that I chose to do this past week. Apparently, you guys might think that this is my PlayStation 3. Technically it is, but in actuality, it's going to be given to a friend. It is an original 60 gig PlayStation 3. I bought it off of some guy on eBay. It was about when I found it like 15 minutes before the bidding ended. Placed it, got it for 122. Not too bad. There was one problem with this PlayStation 3. Only one real issue, and that is it doesn't read discs. So if we want to see, basically, it accepts the disc. You throw it right in there. The icon in the upper right is going to spin, but you're not going to get anything to load. This is basically another one of those broken laser assemblies, which happened and was very common in the earlier systems. I would say if you had a system within the first 3 years that the system was out, you're more likely to have this problem at some point. It's not as widespread as Yellow Light Deaths. But, so basically it knows that there's a disc, but it won't play anything. I have already ordered a replacement part. So altogether, this PlayStation 3, it came with a DualShock 3. Didn't come with the AV cables, didn't come with a USB cable. But it pretty much came in a very decent shape. I was expecting this thing to be horrible, but, it was filthy as shit inside. Completely covered in dust. The paste was shot. I did a pasting job on here. I actually took photos, which I will show at the end of this video. You could see exactly how much amount of paste I put on this. But the machine is quiet. It has a 19 blade fan, I believe, whereas my PS3 60 has a 15. But I've been playing this thing. I was playing, some demos and shit that came already on the machine. Like Super Stardust HD is pretty good. I really sort of shit. I was playing some of these games for a while, and I don't even hear the fan at all. Whereas my PlayStation 3, I have to say, from the last video, I didn't put enough paste. I put a little bit too little. So my PlayStation 3 tends to get overheat a little bit quicker. This PlayStation 3 has to be one of the first PS3s that I put the perfect amount of paste, and the reason why I say perfect, because again, after playing for about 2 hours of demos, I know that's kind of sad that I'm just playing demos, but you don't hear the fan at all. And I have to say, I did a pretty decent job on here. Now, I will be making a video in the future, probably within the next week or so, and I'll show you guys how to install a brand new laser, because this is very common. Now, the other interesting thing is that it didn't just come with a PlayStation 3. It came with the original box. Now, this is very interesting because I never owned an original box for my PlayStation 3. I got it again from Plain Trade. It was probably a machine that somebody else traded in. No one really trades in their systems with boxes. But it's interesting. It shows the price. The original purchase price is here, and it shows $500, which I've never paid that much for any of these systems. I tend to get them dirt cheap. Now I have to say, going the eBay route is actually a very good idea. I have to say that you sometimes can luck out where there's some people who just don't want to deal with it, which is obviously what this guy did. He just didn't want to deal with replacing the laser. He probably didn't know about it. He probably didn't realize it was that easy to fix. So of course, me buying it, it came out pretty good because it's quiet. You don't hear it. The machine runs really nicely. It heats up my room like a mofo, but it's pretty good. Now, a little side thing here. I'm talking about Yellow Lights of Death and everything. Yes, I know I've been beating a dead horse talking over and over and over again, but, it's very interesting that Sony still to this day just doesn't give a shit. So, again, this is the last generation that I'll ever support Sony. I'm not buying the NGP. I'm not buying a PlayStation 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever the fuck. They just don't care. And why should I? Now I do appreciate all the support I've gotten over the past 2 years here on YouTube. You guys have really inspired me to work harder at solving problems like this. Because again, it's just ridiculous that when you're a gamer, you shouldn't have to worry about the hardware. You shouldn't have to worry about, oh, should I repaste my PlayStation 3? Should I, swap out the fans to make it run better? Should I swap out the power supply? That's shit that if you're a PC gamer, you should have to worry about. Not this. These boxes were designed to basically stay in one piece. You're never supposed to open them, and they're supposed to just work. But unfortunately, we have gotten to that point in technology, which I have to say, the generation that these systems, the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, were designed around, weren't that efficient. We're talking pre-Vista days. So we're talking about technology that was in development from 2004 to 2005-ish. The cell processor was never efficient. That's why it generates so much heat. The graphics cards on these machines were never efficient. I can almost guarantee that the next generation of systems are going to run significantly cooler, and they're going to put out graphics that blow away these machines. Now I know a lot of you people out there are going to be like, "Well, wait, how the fuck is that possible? How can you have better graphics? Like, I think this is the best graphics in the world." Believe me, there is much more room for improvement, and you're going to see that when the next generation of consoles are released. You're going to be like, "Oh, wow, I can't believe we've been playing graphics that are this shitty." And it's the same routine. I mean, I remember when the PlayStation 2 came out, a lot of people were like, "Oh, how the hell can they make the graphics better?" And then the PlayStation 3 came out, like, "Oh shit." It's always like that. Every generation, you're surprised with how much more detail you could push out on your screen. So it's very interesting. Now, if you guys have any comments, questions, or anything, speaking of which, I know I get a lot. I mean, a lot. I've probably gotten within the past few months over 100 requests for people wanting me to fix their PlayStation 3s. I'm going to flat out explain why I don't do them. If I know you in person, I'll fix your PS3. If I know if I've met you in person, I mean, I'm more likely to do it. I am just extremely cautious about, having somebody who's online sending me a console for me to fix it, because the following scenario can happen. For instance, let's just say you contact me, you say, "Hey, look, my PlayStation 3 has a disc reading problem, or it's overheating, the fan's on all the time," or something like that, and you knowingly send it to me broken to the point where it doesn't power on at all, there is no yellow light death, it's like completely dead to the point where I can't fix it. Then when I contact you and say, "Hey, yeah, your system is dead," you could turn around and say, whoa, wait, actually it wasn't like that prior to me sending it to you, and then you could sue the shit out of me. I just don't want that particular scenario to ever happen, so therefore I avoid it. Yes, I'm missing out on money I could be making off of fixing these machines, making them run better, making them to the point where they're silent like this machine, but I really can't live with the possibility of somebody fucking me over. And unfortunately, it's the world we live in where, this shit can happen. So I'm sorry, guys, that I don't actually take you guys up on your offers. I mean, I've had people offer me upwards of $200 to fix their original 60 gig PS3s. I just don't do them because, again, it's just, there are too many risks involved. So take care, guys. Look out for future content. If you guys had not yet subscribed to Player's Choice, please do so, because we have a bunch of copycats out there, which I will be making a video of in the future. Some sort of group of, I guess, fag gamers, gramers, or whatever the hell, decided to steal our name for our podcast, then had the fucking nerve to go and write a customer review on my podcast saying that it's shit. Now, here's a little quick thing before I get into the whole rant, which will be I'll probably release in the next week. The dumbass who published the fucking copycat ripoff named podcast is the same person who fucking wrote the bad comment. And you know what's so funny is this dumbass uses the exact same name. So it's not like something where it's a he said, she said, and speculation. The fucker used the same name. So, if you're going to rip off our podcast, prepare yourself for war because your podcast, I've already listened to your entire first episode. It's shit. It's horrible. And you guys had the nerve to insult my show. At least we are understood when somebody listens to our show. People actually say they can understand what we are talking about. Your show was an entire bullshit of, oh yeah, dude, totally, yeah, this show, this sucks, yeah. That was the entire fucking show. There was no interesting concept to it. It's just bullshit. It's like putting a voice recorder while you're playing online gaming. That was really what it was. So please, guys, if you can, just support my show. Fuck theirs, because theirs sucks. And they released their first episode on May 23rd, 2011. I released my first episode on May 5th, 2010, an entire year prior to them releasing their first episode. So fuck you if you want to, copy my show. Because, again, I have a Creative Commons license on it. Therefore, you're violating my copyrights, which I legally have rights to, and I'm going to sue your fucking ass, so fuck you.